Our problem here today, my problem here today, is that you're a bully. You've taken the idea that companies should have to be less competitive in order to merge, that every merger has to be somehow bad for the company and good for the consumer, a standard that cannot be met.
That was Republican Congressman Darrell Issa being a good boy for his corporate donors. See, that was during a hearing with Federal Trade Commission Chair Lina Khan. Issa issued the hearing to parrot, or use the hearing, I should say, to basically parrot Wall Street's complaints about the FTC being far too aggressive in challenging mergers by massive corporations. These mergers crush competition and monopolize markets. That translates to less options and higher prices for consumers. But it also means big profits for corporate America. As a result, corporate executives ain't loving the fact that there's finally a cop on the beat, and deep-pocketed donors to both the Democratic and Republican parties are taking some action. According to the Financial Times, Khan's willingness to challenge corporate consolidation in industries from gaming to pharmaceuticals to semiconductors has drawn the ire of big business. So Wall Street is calling on President Joe Biden to run Khan out of town if he wants to get reelected. FT's James Fontanella Khan writes that anybody talking to deal makers over the past year or so will have noticed that barely anyone has been capable of hiding their loathing for Khan. In private, financiers accuse her of being anti-American and against business. Several Wall Street donors to the Democratic Party are using their position of influence to quietly lobby Biden to drop Khan if he gets reelected, according to people briefed on the matter. That's how badly they want her out of the FTC. When you hear Khan's philosophy on what makes a functioning economy robust, you'll understand why major corporations absolutely despise her.
Khan holds the post she does at such a young age, in part because she wrote an influential law article arguing that Amazon was becoming like the trusts of the Gilded Age. She says that in an age of behemoths, the government had to take a more active role ensuring competition.
There's been a whole set of empirical research showing that markets have become more concentrated. I think people in their day-to-day lives realize that if you're looking to, book a flight, oftentimes, you don't have too many options. If you're looking to buy a concert ticket, you don't have too many options. Big picture, our efforts to enforce the laws that Congress charged us with, the antitrust laws, the laws prohibiting unfair methods of competition, are squarely focused on businesses' practices that are raising prices for people.
I should note, by the way, that Lina Khan has taken the issue of investing in individual stocks very seriously and has decided against investing in individual stocks as long as she is the chair of this government agency. I think that says a lot about her and what her priorities are. And by the way, Khan isn't messing around either. We're all used to politicians and government bureaucrats doling out tough talk with little action to back up what they're saying. But that's definitely not the case with Khan.
Over the last century, we've seen time and time again that when we have robust antitrust enforcement and robust competition, that really sets us up best to have the strongest, most thriving economy.
In 2021, the year Khan was sworn in as chair, the FTC issued 42 letters of investigation over M&A. That's almost twice the amount in 2020 and the highest in more than a decade.
When the FTC does investigations, they tie up their own resources and they sort of tie a deal in knots for as long as a year.
And investigating more deals can slow down the merger market overall.
More important is the chilling effect that they're having on M&A activity in general.
It definitely has had a chilling effect on mergers and acquisitions. And perhaps the most important element of Khan's leadership are her efforts in strengthening guidelines on mergers and acquisitions. The FTC has helped rewrite pro-consolidation merger guidelines that were established during the Reagan era, launched a probe into big tech's cloud computing businesses, and, this is my favorite, proposed a ban on exploitative non-compete agreements. Khan has even more substantive wins under her belt too, including a settlement involving pharmaceutical company Amgen's $28 billion acquisition of Horizon Therapeutics. It was the FTC's first challenge to a pharmaceutical deal in more than a decade, which goes to show you how useless the FTC had become prior to Khan's tenure. While the acquisition will go through, Khan managed to secure some very important concessions throughout her suit. In Amgen's case, the FTC argued that the big pharma group could get buyers to favor Horizon's drugs by bundling them with its own best medicines. Now, under the resolution, which Khan secured, Amgen promised not to bundle 2 of Horizon's drugs. Eleanor Fox, who's an expert in competition policy at NYU School of Law, argues that this is a win for Khan and American consumers, saying that Amgen was not a defeat at all. It was a settlement, and the FTC got restrictions that it wanted. It did not get to enjoin the merger, but that partial victory is the nature of a settlement. So it's really no surprise that Wall Street is dangling money above Biden's head like a creeper with mistletoe on Christmas Eve. They provided quite a bit of cash in the last election cycle, and unfortunately for us, corporate Democrats like Biden really like that corporate money. Now, Wall Street spent over $74 million in support of Biden in 2020, and industry executives at the urging of the president's team have hosted fundraisers this year for his re-election campaign. And by the way, Lina Khan wouldn't be in the position that she's in today if it weren't for Biden. So credit to President Biden for picking her to be the chair of the FTC. It would really hurt his reputation if he decided to essentially listen to the demands of Wall Street and oust her from this government agency. And another way in which Wall Street and their congressional lapdogs are trying to destroy Khan is by accusing her of being a loser. I know, strong words from businessmen who have to game the system to turn a profit, or from lawmakers who waste much of their time reciting genderqueer in congressional hearings.
I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life, then I want you inside of me.
Sorry, I had to weave in that fun little nugget. Khan is someone who challenges mergers and sometimes loses. The fact that she tries it all is a huge change and improvement from what we had before. Under Khan's leadership, the FTC has taken legal action against several prominent merger proposals, including Microsoft's $69 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard, a case the agency paused after recent court defeats. But just stop and think about what the implied directive is here from her detractors. Don't even try to challenge mergers and acquisitions because you might lose in court. Look, Khan is working with the laws she's been tasked to enforce. And unfortunately, antitrust laws were weakened significantly under the Reagan administration. Eleanor Fox from NYU sheds light on this unfortunate fact while speaking with the Financial Times, saying that our antitrust law is very conservative, making it hard for plaintiffs, in this case the FTC, to win. And the FTC and DOJ are fighters to try to push back a very long, very big business-friendly orientation. James Cady, who serves as the director of the Fordham Competition Law Institute, agrees with this, saying that Lina Khan uses litigation, if necessary, as a platform to try and return, in her view, antitrust law to its original purpose of preventing industry consolidation or post-merger abuse. And Khan isn't done yet. She's planning on filing a major antitrust lawsuit against Amazon, which she has long argued operates as a monopoly. It's no surprise that actually enforcing antitrust laws would ruffle the feathers of crony capitalists. It's also not much of a shocker that corporate media has basically helped bolster the grievances of corporate America. Take the Wall Street Journal as an example, whose right-wing editorial board consistently fuels outrage against Khan. The publication has run dozens of pieces attacking the FTC chair's work this year alone. In reality, Khan's effectiveness can be summed up by this take in the Financial Times. Deal-making volume in dollar terms has fallen significantly since she became chair of the FTC, but the overall number of transactions is above average over the past decade. What that shows is that big companies have shied away from doing mega deals, but smaller acquisitions have gone ahead as they probably posed less of a threat. That sounds like the FTC, for the first time in a long time, is doing its job. And they're doing their job under the leadership of Lina Khan. The fact that Wall Street is so furious with her, and the fact that corporate members of Congress like Darrell Issa are calling her a bully, is really a badge of honor, especially in today's political climate where the business interests tend to reign supreme. So good for Lina Khan and good for Joe Biden for deciding to choose her to be the chair of this government agency. Again, if he decides to listen to the demands of his donors, I'll change my commentary in regard to Biden. But for now, this is one of the good elements of the major mixed bag of the Biden administration.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.